first, live, local. This is Fox 12 Now.
Hello everyone, welcome to Fox 12 Now. I'm Greg Nibbler. As always, we appreciate you joining us here, and wherever you're watching, I'm glad that you found us, whether that's on the Fox 12 Oregon YouTube channel, KPTV.com, or the Fox 12 Oregon apps. And obviously, a lot of people are talking about the aftermath of Hurricane Milton in Florida, which made landfall yesterday. We were speaking yesterday a couple of times to Kyle Cutten of the Tornado Tacklers, and we've got Kyle back with us again. Kyle, thank you for having some time to talk to us. Clearly, that must have been a really wild night last night. Last we talked to you, I think you were heading towards Tampa, heading toward the eye of the hurricane. And I guess after that, how did the rest of the evening and last night go?
Oh, well, so we got through the eye wall, and then we actually got inside the eye. It was completely as calm as a cucumber, and then leaving was just atrocious. We had probably 120 mile an hour gusts. I had a few folks that needed help, had to help some folks that were out of gas. We had to get some folks to shelter. It was a rough one, but the biggest thing was the flooding coming out of Tampa towards Lakeland into Orlando. I hit a huge patch in the middle of the night and hydroplaned and submarined the car. Luckily got through it. But the extensiveness of the damage when we got through on this side of Florida from the tornadoes was we just got out of the damage zone now, and it's brutal.
And where is it that you're at right now?
I'm in Lakewood. Oh, sorry. Let me make sure I get this exactly right here. Lakewood Park.
Lakewood Park in Florida.
Yeah. Yep. Lakewood Park, just north of Port St. Lucie.
Okay.
So what happened was we had two, what's called PDS warned, particularly dangerous situation from the National Weather Service. Two tornadoes that came right through here, right behind me, and unfortunately, we lost 5 people to one of them. It came right through this neighborhood behind me, and then went through a senior residence mobile home park, and that's where we had our fatalities.
Man, and that's horrible, and that's what we've been hearing too. Is these tornadoes of everything here with the hurricane. I mean, obviously the hurricane itself, but the tornadoes seem to be the thing that have really caused a lot of damage.
I was blown away how usually we get wispy tornadoes, and they're still dangerous. You can pick up a shed or some metal. This was you're seeing it right there. There's the damage path, Greg. Look at that. That's a vicious tornado to rip through a forest like that, right through houses. It turns vehicles. This is like what you would see in the Midwest when I was in Oklahoma.
And that's right there. So this is all tornado damage going through this area.
Yep.
And obviously, yeah, I think yesterday we were talking about there were maybe like over 100 tornado warnings that were out there.
Yeah.
And I'm sure everybody's still trying to assess how many, but yeah, looking at this, so this is all tornado, not the hurricane even.
No, this is it spawned off of the hurricane. So these cells come off of the bands, and as you can see right there, that destroyed an entire house, ripped right through it. So it was a very, very dangerous day for those that weren't even in the path of the hurricane.
Yeah. Wow, that's a complete RV flipped over there.
Yeah.
Just looking at this, I mean, and this is all footage that you shot driving through here.
Just minutes ago.
And, wow. I mean, just to see it first time, and I'm seeing this for the first time as well, just so everybody, why I keep saying wow. And I mean, it's just crazy to see this, to look at all this damage that's going on there. And so this is what's happening there in Florida right now. And this is just one section. We know there were more. I did hear that the power is out in a good portion of the area. Is that the case for you, or have they returned the power back on?
No, we're in an area that the power was out. It's splotchy in this area, but it's really bad in Tampa. Over 2 million people without power. What happens, Greg, is you start seeing desperation. First off, we were trying to get to Tampa, but the fuel shortage is still so bad that we didn't even attempt. We decided to come down here where the tornado damage was on this side of the state. People out there are losing their food. Everything's starting to spoil. It's still warm out. You're going to see panic and desperation setting in the next 24 hours.
Yeah, I mean, with that fuel shortage, that seems to be one of the biggest things that you were mentioning yesterday, having to drive all the way across the state to just even fill up. And now with that lack of it on there as well, that's got to be something that's, a huge issue to get that in. So,
big time.
Yeah, I guess, just another question for you, what's the state of people there on the ground? What's the feeling like? How are people reacting right now?
tense. It's incredibly tense. I can tell you, the lines are long to get into Bath. I mean, every store is picked clean. If you try to go in, you're going to get water and cheese. That's what you're seeing for any fast food, and then all the chains, anything that is corporate is shut down. The few places we found there's just not enough food down here. You got millions of people. And so it's going to be about getting supplies down here. The fuel in Central Florida is just gone. So I don't know how long that will take to get, all these gas stations back up and running. The power grid, they're actively working on it. But again, 2.2 million people without power is a large amount of people.
Without power, without fuel, and then stores out of food, restaurants not open. Yeah, that's a major issue, and I know that there are a number of aid organizations that are bringing things down there or working to get people there. Currently, I know there's people from Oregon that are even flying out with Red Cross here, but and probably from all over the country, I would assume that are coming down there. What's the state? Just taking a look here at the footage that you had. Obviously where the tornado came through, pretty devastating. But for the rest of it, are there trees down? Is there debris in the road? Is there a lot of flooding? Like, what's the state for?
Lots of it. So
yeah,
flooding's everywhere. Here, just to give you an idea, I'll flip you around here. This is just where we pulled off to finally get cell coverage. Here's your localized flooding that you're constantly getting right here. You're getting just that's not normally a flood right there. And everywhere trees are down, copious amounts of trees are down. But there's still high water. Last night I went through so much high water. I thought for sure I was done and going to flood the truck out. And luckily we got through it at the last second.
Wow. Yeah. So that's just probably looks like so many different places there all over Florida right now.
Yeah. Central Florida is ravaged. There's no doubt about it. Flooding is the main thing. Power outages. Even if you didn't get copious amounts of wind damage, being without power it becomes a disaster inside of a disaster for folks, because air conditioning's gone, your fridge is gone. If you have electric water heaters, those aren't, you find out how primitive life is real quick when you're out of power.
Yeah, absolutely. And how much, going without it, the longer it is, the worse it gets, the harder it is. I mean, and to restore, and you're losing all that food and so all kinds of stuff. Well, Kyle, for you, what's next, for you now that you're there? I mean, you've been there, but
I'm here.
Damage.
To be honest, I'll probably be, I don't want to say stranded here, but I'll be stuck here for the foreseeable future. Travel out of here is going to be tough. I'm here to cover the story, so I'll continue to do that. But I can tell you it's dire right now for the folks of Central Florida. If you're remotely thinking of coming back, if you can stay where you evacuated to even another week, I would recommend it if you have the means. Coming back here, first off, the traffic was miles long. There's flooding along I-4, so it's making travel almost impossible. So trying to even get back right now is just brutal.
And let alone the fuel shortage, as we were talking about too. So well, good. It's a good point there. If you can stay out and stay away for a little bit longer until things can get back. Good recommendation on that. Well, Kyle, I want to thank you, for your time here over the last couple of days too, and sharing all this with us and being down there and helping out in the middle of the situation, and stranded as you are too, down there. And hopefully, you're doing okay and able to get some supplies. But if there's anything, people can do, we're going to have some recommendations here where people can donate for helping out. But Kyle, and I want to recommend everybody too. So Tornado Tacklers on Facebook, that's where people can go see your videos. I've been watching them the whole time too. You're live streaming, you're showing what's going on there. And if people really want to know what's happening down there, I mean, this is a great way to do it because
it's raw. It's raw footage in real time. So thank you, Greg. I appreciate it. And we'll talk to you soon. I'll let you know how this goes here in a day or two.
All right. Sounds good. Thanks, Kyle. Be safe.
Thank you, sir. Have a good day.
You too. All right. And for everybody who is watching, so we've got this right here. You can scan that QR code, and that is a way to help support the people down in Florida with some storm relief. So just want to get that there to you so you can take a look and have that on there. Sorry, there was some little issue with that, but there we go. This should make that a little bit better. But again, scan that QR code, and that is how you can pull that up. Okay, so for everybody watching, this is Fox 12 Now. We are live streaming here, and appreciate you all joining us. We've got more throughout the afternoon. This is what we do here with this show out of Fox 12 Oregon. So plenty of stuff this afternoon, whatever platform you're on, you found us. And if you want to see some of those videos that we had with Kyle yesterday, some of that coverage. You can definitely go check that out at the Fox 12 Oregon YouTube channel or KPTV.com under the Fox 12 Now tab or the Fox 12 Oregon app. But again, you can scan that QR code right there to help out with some of that Florida storm relief with the Salvation Army. All right, but we're going to sign off right now. A big thank you to Kyle once again and Tornado Tacklers for joining us with all of this coverage right down there, in the middle